Hello and welcome to TheAIbumMan, and today we're going to be doing CDs and vinyl I bought recently for June 2016. So you have my catch-up one whenever the hell I uploaded that. But now, here's the one for June. Quite a bit of stuff in June, so let's begin with the CDs. First, we have something I was really pleased to find. This is not easy to find. This is Mostly Autumn's Passengers. I saw Mostly Autumn live supporting Ritchie Blackmore's Rainbow, and I've seen him live many other times as well. I think I've seen him live maybe at least 4 times, which for me is quite a few times. A lot of their back catalogue is bloody expensive. If you go on Amazon, this will be at least at minimum 20-25 quid from a seller. It's just out of print, and I found this in a local record store for £3. So that was really good. This has a couple of their best songs, Passengers, Past the Clock. But if you want to get into Mostly Autumn, they're sort of 90s prog, and they have this wonderful guitarist called Brian Josh, and at this area they had Heather Finley on vocals, and now they have Olivia Spahn and Josh. But yeah, listen to this song Evergreen. If you don't like that, that's sort of a Comfortably Numb style, epic, big guitar solo. Nice stuff if you like some prog, some 90s prog, I suppose. Megadeth's Dystopia. This is on like a 2 for £10 thing at HMV. And yeah, I was going to see them at Download Festival, thought I'd check out the new album. A lot of people saying this is Return to Form. I would agree, yeah. I mean, this is better than 13. Certainly better than Super Collider. I've always been more of a defender of Super Collider. I've never been one of the huge haters of Super Collider. Watch my review on my channel. I disagree to most of the reviewing community on the album. But this is the best thing they've done since Endgame. I maybe slightly prefer Endgame still. Kiko Loureiro, decent guitarist. He replaced Chris Broderick. I don't think he's as good as Chris Broderick. I really do love Chris. And then Chris Adler as well as joining Mustaine on drums from the Lamb of God drummer. Certainly a strong album. Return to Form. If you like Megadeth, recommend listening to this. Now, a few albums which I admit I have not got around to, but just want to sort of binge listen from a certain band. They were really cheap, so I thought pick them up. Sepultura's Roots, Sepultura's Arise, and Sepultura's Chaos AD. I found these, I went to this festival at the O2 Arena called Stone Free Festival, and they had CDs for like, I think it was £1 or £2, and I've been meaning to get into Sepultura for ages and owned literally nothing of them. And these are 3 albums I've certainly heard of and come across before, so yeah, gonna hopefully go on a bit of a Sepultura binge listen and get to grips with some of their stuff. And some other albums I also found for £1 or £2 at that same record fair. Found Echo Brains. I think this is just self-titled. This is Jason Newsted, the Metallica bassist on the Black Album, and the one that you couldn't hear whatsoever on Injustice for All. This is a side project. I haven't listened to it yet, I haven't got around to it, but I don't know, I'm hoping to expect maybe something thrashy, maybe something a bit groove melody. I don't know, but interesting, certainly. 9 Inch Nails The Fragile. This is something I found in CEX for like £3. I've been meaning to pick up some more 9 Inch Nails because I've really been getting into them. It took me a while to get into the downward spiral, certainly. I remember when I first got that album, I was not too impressed, but The Fragile, it's an album I listened to before. I listened to it on Spotify, and it's one I enjoy. I think it's maybe a bit long. I think it's a double album, isn't it? It seems to be a double album. Yes, it is a double album. And it maybe goes on a bit too much, has some filler, but enjoyable 9 Inch Nails album nonetheless. Something I was really surprised to find, Between the Buried and Me's Colours. Oh, I've been meaning to listen to this for a long damn time, because I only owned the Parallax Part 2 and their latest album, Coma Ecliptic, and weirdly, even before going to see them live, I had never actually heard Colours in its entirety. I know many metal fans will be like, what? How would you go and see Between the Buried and Me and you've never heard Colours, which is considered their masterpiece, their best album by fans? Well, I'd heard Enter the Sky before, and I really liked that track, and I think I'd heard White Walls before. So that's a good, like, almost half an hour of the album, but I suppose it's quite a long album. It's Between the Buried and Me. I haven't given this a full listen yet. I know. A lot of stuff in my backlog to listen to, but really going to get around to this. Want to pump this out on the hi-fi and enjoy some good old aggressive, progressive metal. Some more progressive metal. Devin Townsend's Physicist. Again, I don't really know what to expect from this. It was just cheap in CX, and I'll buy any Devin Townsend album to give it a go. I really don't know anything about this, don't know what to expect, because with Devin you can get anything. I think I've heard this is maybe a heavier album, but only one way to find out, I suppose. One I've been really enjoying to complete my Hendrix collection, Band of Gypsys. This is the final thing that Hendrix ever put out. I mean, it's not really a studio album, it was put out, I mean, his first studio album, of course, was Electric Ladyland in 1970. But this was put out in 70 or 71, and it's basically what he was going to do before he died. I assume they probably would have recorded a studio album, but I don't know too much about the history of Band of Gypsys. But this is Buddy Miles and Billy Cox, and these are all new songs, I think. Yeah, these are all new songs, but it's recorded live at the Fillmore in New York. Really cool stuff. A lot of long jams on it, which I love, like Machine Gun, 12.5-minute song. Who Knows, 9.5-minute song. Power to Love, almost 7 minutes. This is really strong freaking Hendrix. The jam, the groove he's got on here, this is him on fire, and I wish he'd been able to make more albums though, you know, who doesn't? Really essential listening to the Hendrix though. The White Stripes' Icky Thump. I think this completes my White Stripes collection. This is their final album, being in 2007. I'm pretty sure this is their final album. And I'd heard a few songs from this before buying it. Icky Thump and I think You Don't Know What Love Is as well. But yeah, I mean, it's White Stripes, garage rock, bluesy, good, solid stuff. Not too much I need to say on it. One that's surprisingly cheap. For 99p, Abracadabra, which is their Cadaver's second studio album. This also comes with the Live in Antwerp CD. So that's really cool, because this didn't come out too long ago. So who are Cadaver? Well, they are a German stoner rock band. I saw them at Download Festival, and they're freaking awesome. They're going to be touring the UK later this year with Blues Pills, so another wonderful kind of 70s revivalist type act. But these guys, they are super awesome. If you like your stoner rock, I highly, highly recommend this, particularly the song Come Back to Life. That's the one I'd really check them out on. Band to watch, and I haven't heard the new album Berlin yet, which came out, last year, but I certainly should. I like a lot of the singles from it. So, on to the vinyl, I suppose. Well, one that I mentioned in my last video that I was going to buy, Moon-Shaped Pool by Radiohead. How could I not buy the new album? If you want to know my opinions on this, check out my guide to Radiohead, where I do briefly talk about this album. I would like to do a full review of it in the future though, so I won't say too much now, other than that it is bloody amazing. God damn, is this good. It's just, so lived up to my expectations. Really did. And I had high expectations. I was super on the hype train for the new Radiohead album, checking out the Radiohead subreddit constantly, looking for updates. Yeah. Chris Squire, rest in peace, his album Fish Out of Water. Chris Squire, who is he? He's the bassist of the British prog band Yes. And you wouldn't think, okay, well, the bassist is doing a solo album. Wow, this doesn't sound great. It is, actually. I think this is the best solo project from any Yes member. Yeah, I think it's better than Rick Wakeman's Journey to the Centre of the Earth. I would say that. I enjoy this. I enjoy this more. This is... It's because that's such a good line. I mean, you have Mel Collins on saxophone. You have Bill Bruford on drums. It's like, shit, it's practically like Yes plus King Crimson. And it really is kind of Yes plus King Crimson. Very underrated album. Really underrated. And I found it quite cheap. A bit of a classic. Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers, this is just self-titled, with probably his most famous track, American Girl, which is also probably my favourite, and Free Fallin', but I think Free Fallin' was about the Heartbreakers though. This is his debut. I think this is just a solid album all the way through, sort of 70s rock, Americana type things, you know, you get those Springsteen, you get those Dylan vibes in there, certainly a lot of Dylan vibes in Tom Petty. Yeah, I mean, this is a classic. Something else a bit proggy. Emerson, Lake and Palmer's The Works. This is volume 1 of The Works. A lot of this is wankery at this stage. It has a Greg Lake side, a Cole Palmer side, a Keith Emerson side. Rest in peace, Keith Emerson. That was a a really tragic death as well. But then the side you buy this album for is the Emerson, Lake and Palmer side, which is all of them writing together, and really it's for Fanfare for the Common Man by Aaron Copland, and their version of that is incredible. The rest of the stuff, yeah, particularly Greg Lake's, I mean, some of the track listing is, for Greg Lake, C'est la vie, Hallowed be thy name, and it's, yeah, and Keith Emerson's is just a wanky piano concerto. Not Emerson, Lake and Palmer at the best, but Fanfare's cool. Pirates is not too bad either. Also, we have a bit of Dylan. The Times They Are Changing on mono vinyl, 180 gram remaster, one of the best folk albums ever. Really the only true protest album I think that Dylan ever made. The extent you can call him a protest singer is debatable, with songs like Only a Pawn in Their Game and The Lonesome Death of Hattie Carroll, Ballad of Hollis Brown, The Times They Are Changing, of course. This was a call to, well, to change, really, in the 1960s, 1963. It's his second best folk album, best being Freewheelin', of course. Okay, what's next? UFO, Obsession. UFO album with Michael Schenker, the brother of Rudolf Schenker of the Scorpions, and of course of Michael Schenker Group. UFO with Michael Schenker, that was really UFO at their best. I haven't got around to listening to this yet, but I like UFO a lot, so looking forward to it. Van Halen's debut album. I mean, this was one of the most important albums in metal in the 70s, really. David Lee Roth on top vocal form, Eddie Van Halen blowing everyone's freaking minds with Running with the Devil and, well, of course, Eruption. Yeah, it does have freaking, what's it called? Yeah, Ice Cream Man, which is like, oh god, why? But aside from that, I mean, you know, I love this album. And then last but not least is I picked up a bit of Monkees. I found some Monkees super cheap. We have more of the Monkees, their second album, The Monkees, their first album, and Monkees Headquarters. Haven't listened to all the Monkees albums yet, but I love the Monkees so much as a kid. I remember listening to the compilation. I had like 20 Golden Greats, so much. Last Train to Clarksville, I'm a Believer, Hey Hey Where the Monkees. Yeah, they're sort of one of the first boy bands, and they're cheesy as heck and really trying to copy the Beatles. But they were a bit of fun. They're a fun band. The new album ain't half bad either. So my battery's running out, hence the slightly quickened pace to the end of this video. But yeah, this has been TheAIbumMan. Thanks for watching, comment, subscribe, and as usual, long live rock and roll.